Well, Ford and Maughan Thiem in Adelaide, the names just go together, don't they? Like a horse and carriage. And Maughan Thiem itself, well, that goes back to when the horse and carriage was being replaced by the car. They're celebrating their 100th birthday. So, on behalf of 5AA, I'm here to wish them a happy centenary and to meet the man who knows how the whole saga unfolded, Murray Forbes. Well, Murray Forbes, you're the man, and you've got the slideshow to prove it.
I do have some slides, don't I?
You do. In fact, you go back to even before the beginnings here?
I go back to before the beginnings. This first slide has got Alan Behrens sitting on the left-hand side there in what must be a motorised cycle.
Yeah.
And this is actually at his parents' home in Norwood. And he and Maughan Thiem, who originally were the founders of the company, they were repairing and fixing motorcycles and other cycles in the backyard in this street in Norwood. There's a lovely slide here of when they decided to eventually set up the business properly in a tin shed in Flinders Street.
So they're official agents now.
They're official agents for Ford. That's right. They're specialising in Ford and servicing, and there's this lovely shot here of the service station in 1919. This is a lovely shot of the three founders again of the company. So on the left you have Fred Maughan, and in the middle we have Maughan Thiem, and the gentleman on the right again is Alan Behrens. And now this would only be, well, 10 years you'd think after the
Wright brothers.
The Wright brothers.
Well, that's a plane
because it's an old plane in the background. That's right.
On the right-hand side there, you can see
the bicycle wheel.
That's the front wheel.
The front wheel of the plane. This picture here is a picture of one of the brands that Maughan Thiem used to sell, and it was the Enfield Autolet. The Enfield was a little two-seater which used to be, they used to say the body of it was shaped a bit like a torpedo, so it had good aerodynamics for the day. There was also things like the Sterling truck. That's another product that Maughan Thiem used to sell.
Now that truck, that hasn't got inflatable rubber tyres.
I reckon there's solid wheels, don't you?
Solid rubber or something.
Either solid rubber or solid steel.
Wow.
It'd be very noisy, wouldn't it, on the old roads of Adelaide. In 1923, outside the Pulteney Street premises, which were the main headquarters of Maughan Thiem in those days.
Very fancy two-storey building, stained glass along the front.
It's lovely,
It is a lovely building.
It's a beautiful building. And
now what are all these cars lined up to do?
So out the front you've got a series of Citroens, and I reckon they're all lined up about to go for a run, about to go through for a Hills run, which they used to do quite often. And another interesting brand that Maughan Thiem distributed back in that era too was the Ruggles trucks. So this shot shows a bus, and on the left you've got Maughan Thiem, and he's handing the bus over for use on the Glenelg line.
This is a very fancy certificate. What's
it is. This certificate is when Fred Maughan was appointed the franchisee for Graham Page in 1929, and Graham Page was taken on by Maughan Thiem because it was a volume seller, and it gets some real volume income going for the business, and it lasted in the business for many years.
Oh, that's what it looked like.
That's what it looked like. Here's an old ad out of the newspaper, and this again would be in the 30s.
Now that would have a dicky seat at the back.
It would have a dicky seat. It'd have to.
Yeah.
It would have to.
I reckon maybe, there'd be a luggage boot, but a lot of that cars of that era, you flipped up the back of it and then a little seat.
Little passenger seat on the back there. And the running boards on the side as well.
Of course.
Fantastic, aren't they?
Yeah.
So this is about 1930, I reckon, this cartoon was done by a cartoonist in the news. And you've got Fred Maughan on the left, and Maughan Thiem on the right, and they're flying around the streets of Adelaide in a Graham Page. So it was a big moment for Maughan Thiem.
Oh, we're in the 30s. What's this?
Well, we're at the Royal Adelaide Show in 1935, and the Graham Page takes the pride of place in the front there, and right next to it is another brand that Maughan Thiem became very well known for, and that's the Singer. We actually assembled Singers and finished them off in a property that we had at Hindmarsh, and that's a picture there of the Singer finishing line at Maughan Thiem's property in Hindmarsh, Osborne Street, Hindmarsh.
So we've got convertibles on the left.
Yeah.
St hands on the right.
The other big part of Maughan Thiem's operation, and this really is during the war, but certainly post-war, Maughan Thiem had some great opportunities to get a supply of army surplus jeeps, the old Willys Jeep.
So they start off with army jeeps?
They started off with army jeeps. There was about 100 surplus army jeeps that we got hold of, and refurbished them and assembled them. And this is the Jeep assembly line at Hindmarsh, in the same building at Osmond Street, Hindmarsh. And we're really in the 40s now. We're in the 1940s, and that's a really beautiful looking vehicle.
I see it's got
running boards.
Yes, very flash.
The Nash was a lovely car. There's a beautiful representation of it, the Nash 600. So we're still at Pulteney Street, Central 874 is the phone number, and here's a lovely shot of on the footpath outside. It's the three founders of the company. So on the left there, if you recall that photo of the people standing out the front of the biplane, or the old plane back all those years ago, on the left again, same position, you have Fred Maughan in 1951, and you have Ross Thiem in the middle in 1951. Now the gentleman on the far right is Bruce Thiem, and Bruce was Ross's brother, and he came into the business in the 30s. So that really now is Maughan Thiem, that's what you're looking at. This ad here, Keith, to me is very important because it's from the news, and it's dated July 3, 1958. And it's really saying to the public, clear all the decks, we've got to get rid of all of our product.
It says straight up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Change of franchise, stocks must be cleared.
They must go. This is the day when we took on the Ford franchise, again if you like, as a proper franchisee.
Yep, so this is the turning point, because we now associate Maughan Thiem with Ford.
With Ford, that's right.
So this is the moment.
This is the moment, exactly right. And so Ford really became who Maughan Thiem were all about once we moved into that period, and we relocated into Wakefield Street. We still had the old premises, and this is Wakefield Street here in the 1960s. This beautiful example of an ad that we used to put together. This is 1970.
Yes.
And you can see there that
Now you were going for a big target.
It was a huge target, wasn't it?
Yes. We're set to quit 75 cars in 5.5 days of frantic trade. What can you offer me?
Well, I can offer you, perhaps down in the bottom right-hand corner there, I can see a 1962 Holden EK sedan, and you can have that for $399, or if you can't afford that all up front, you can pay it off at $3.50 a week. And this lovely old ad from 1972, it's a little bit stained, I know, but it's a beautiful old ad because it shows that back on that day, Maughan Thiem were offering a $250 bonus because it must have been the day of the third test being played, so there's a $100 bonus as well on the rest. But if they could find a car with British ancestry in the yard, they got a $250 third test bonus.
What you might call the modern era.
The modern era.
When's it start?
Well, this is in September 1972, and we divest ourselves of all the properties up in the city and everywhere else, and have one property only at 1013 Port Road, Cheltenham. And we did that really because we were running out of room. I mean, by this time we were a large parts distributor for Ford, and we needed to supply and store lots and lots of parts. It was a thriving area down in the port, of course, so that's why we moved down here, and it really made a lot of noise when we got down here. And you can see in this ad from September 72, you've got the customer is king sitting on the pedestal there,
yep,
just above the Ford brand, and we were bigger and better than ever. Our 70th birthday in 1982, and we really did have a big show on in the showroom for this. And here's a lovely shot of David Tonkin, the Premier of the day, as helping Miss Sally Ann, Miss South Australia, alight from the T-model Ford out the front of our showroom. And of course, after the 70th birthday celebration, everyone got up and danced the night away in the showroom. We moved on from there quite quickly into consolidating at this site. We went and bought the warehouse next door and turned it into a Daihatsu showroom because we took on Daihatsu in 1991. So while we were consolidating it Cheltenham and Port Adelaide in the western suburbs, we've pretty early on formed relationships with some of the local clubs. So certainly the Port Adelaide Maggies were a major sponsor. 1999 premiers, and we got all the team to sign the bonnet of the vehicle.
Now we get to a shot with smack in the middle, Timmy Ginnivan.
Timmy Ginnivan, right in the middle there with the Maughan Thiem boys and his team. So this is 2007. So you can see it's been a very long association with Port, with the Maggies. In total we've got 165 people, and we know all of them by name, and they do a fantastic job. And this is a shot of us in our Ford showroom at Cheltenham, celebrating the 100 years. So it just is a wonderful event for us, and we're very proud to be part of South Australia's history.
Well, congratulations, Murray.
Thank you very much.
Happy 100th birthday.
Thank you very much. Nice to talk to you.